Hello, friends. Welcome to the Christ Church Annual Outreach Benefit that has migrated into this virtual format for 2020. We're all familiar with the reason for this. Honestly, I'm so looking forward to a great reunion party eventually. I can't wait to be able to greet all of you in person. For more than 25 years, we've been gathering to celebrate all the ways we give ourselves away, loving our neighbors near and far. We do that by joyfully raising funds that make this good work possible. And given the extraordinary need that's been exposed during COVID, we didn't want to miss this year especially. We know that some within our community may be economically compromised, but your presence is testimony to the power of the loving mission that God assigns to us. And of course, every gift that's given is a work of love. Let's be clear, no gift is too small. But on the other hand, no gift is too large either. And we're hoping for a very generous outpouring of support. Throughout this event, you'll be immersed in several of our ongoing programs, hearing from your friends and colleagues in our broader community. But we also support a number of programs through the United Methodist Church, for instance, the 11 historically black colleges and universities related to the church, the largest number of such schools receiving funding from any church body in the United States. These institutions play an indispensable role in shaping diverse young leaders, a project that remains especially relevant today. Other programming supports Native American peoples and the United Methodist Committee on Relief, or UMCOR, one of the highest-ranked relief organizations in our nation. Our annual support for all of our good work far exceeds $300,000, and every dollar raised through this event goes directly to these good purposes. The more we raise, the more good we can accomplish. Your gifts can be recorded at christchurchcares.com, which I'm hoping you may visit more than once throughout our event as you become ever more aware of the good we do. Already, we've received pledges well in excess of $100,000, so our success has been well seeded. And we're very pleased to welcome Clifton Davis to our event, a man of deep faith who understands the imperatives of Christian generosity. Thank you, Clifton, for offering your support. So, as we begin, we ask God to bless our intentions here, to open our hearts and hands wide, inspiring a generous outpouring of grace and love. Gratitude abounds. Thanks be to God.
Good evening, Christ Church. Clifton Davis here. I was really looking forward to hosting your annual benefit this year, and though we may not be able to meet in person for this event, God is good, and we are still able to be together and have a good time virtually. Throughout my last 50 years, I've been blessed to have a very diverse career that included Motown, Hollywood, Broadway, and the pulpit. And no matter what I was doing or who I was working with, one principle remained true. It is essential to always care, to speak from the heart, and to care for one another. I know tonight's theme is Christ Church Cares, and isn't that at the heart of Jesus Christ's message? This evening, we will be hearing from some familiar faces on how Christ Church cares. We will see an interview and some great testimonies about all the wonderful programs at Christ Church and just why it is so important to give tonight to keep those ministries going. We also have some great music from the church's musicians and even a little homespun comedy from Ben and his mom. So please go to the link here and donate tonight. Now, before I let you go, I want to leave you with a song. This is a song entitled Leaving It Up to You. It was written by yours truly, and it speaks to someone who's at a crossroads in their life, trying to decide what is the right direction to go. Who should he follow? Who should be leading in your life? And the answer is clear. We need to be following the Lord and let God make the choices in our lives, leaving it up to you.
Lord, hold my hand, then I can make it. I know you understand when it's hard to take it. So I remember what you said. Long as I'm yours, I'm persuaded you are mine. When I can't find the reason, and I question why I pray, you show me that your love conquers all. Prayers get answered every day, so I'm letting it go. I'm leaving it up to you, Lord. Yes, I'm letting it go. I'm leaving it up to you. So just take full control. I'm giving it up to you, Lord. You're the lover of my soul. I'm leaving it up to you. So I'm letting it. Whatever comes my way, I can make it through. 'Cause I'm letting it go, leaving it up to you. Up to you.
Have a great night, everyone, and and God bless you all.
Hello and good evening, everyone. We're here to talk a little about a very important program. Of course, all of our programs are important, but Nido de Esperanza is led by Holly Fogg, our Executive Director, and Monica Estrada Guzman, the Program Director. And we want to hear more about how things are actually shaping up there in this very, very challenging time. But before we do that, let us learn what the beginning looked like. So tell us a little about how Nido started.
Thanks, Dr. Lee. I think at Christ Church, we talk a lot about loving our neighbors as ourselves. And many years ago, we had completed a multi-year strategy for Christ Church. And as a church, we thought when we finished all that we wanted to dream bigger in terms of New York City for our outreach efforts. We felt really proud of what we were doing in Cartagena, but we felt like there was a lot of opportunity in New York City to have an even bolder outreach effort. And so I think guided by the notion of what would Jesus do and where would we do it, we got together a great group of folks who helped us really spend the next 18 months thinking about that question. And it was a daunting question because it could have been, so many different topics. But at the end of the day, I think with that notion of what would Jesus do, where would he be in the city, we thought a lot about who were the voiceless populations, the marginalized, the forgotten. And fundamentally, where we all came out was that these are babies that don't have a vote and, often don't yet have a real voice, fundamentally, right? And so we got very excited about the notion of the first 3 years of a child's life. And we also know there's huge amounts of science that back up how important those first 3 years are. And so we opened our doors at Nido de Esperanza 4 years ago this month. And because we are not, like many of the agencies that serve children in the city, 100 years old, we were really able to think about it in a whole different way of fundamentally, how do we best meet the needs of these children and these families? And so, we thought a lot about everything from food and nutrition to community and love. And our goal as Christ Church and as Nido de Esperanza in Washington Heights is to break the cycle of poverty by changing the first 1,000 days of a child's life. And so we partner with these families very holistically, and it's about everything from diapers and formula, the material needs of a baby, but also a model based on community and support and partnering with these amazing families and their resilience and giving them the tools they need to help build the brighter future for that child.
Wow, that's very powerful, Holly. Thank you. So Monica, tell me, what's going on now in Washington Heights? Describe for us what's happening.
Well, as Holly was saying about our holistic approach with our families, we were very fortunate to be able to create an infrastructure 3 years ago, motivated by one of our mothers, pioneer mothers, and now team members. She suggested that we use WhatsApp. In one of our one-on-ones, she asked me, she's like, Ms. Guzman, do you have WhatsApp? And I was like, yeah, I do. She's like, well, it's a great way to communicate. It's a great way in case like you're unable to find you're unable to pay for your phone bill, you can connect through Wi-Fi and still be connected. And so this mom, Ramona, just sparked this idea, this notion for us to be able to create this infrastructure that now, as we responded as a team for COVID-19, helped us to continue to stay in connection with our moms, kept us to take our services virtually. We're still providing direct and social and emotional support with our families. We're connecting with them via Zoom. Our mutual support groups are going strong. We've been able to create a space where our moms are just supporting, loving on one another, celebrating, uplifting one another when there's been a loss in the family, when a family member or a spouse has been tested positive for COVID. There's been support where we have a mom that this year she ends her associate's degree. She's an aspiring nurse, and she was able to share that with our group. And all the moms just got unmuted and just clapped and praised her. Another mom who is going for her BSW, and it was the hardest semester of having to lose your ability to go to school, having lost your childcare, and having all of a sudden become a mom, caretaker, student, and being able to finish your semester strong with great grades, and having the moms once again unmute and just say, "Oh my gosh, you can do it! Oh my goodness, you're inspiring us," right? To being on the front lines once a week and protecting our families and ourselves, ensuring that our families have a meal, have a box of pantry items that are 20 to 30 pounds heavy. And when you open them, they're filled with fresh fruit and vegetables. Our partnerships that we had established pre-COVID have given us these opportunities with New York Presbyterian program, which is choosing healthy, active lifestyles for kids, and coming and partnering with like one of the biggest pantries in New York City, Westside Campaign Against Hunger, and truly model what community is. Come alongside and, you know, be able to make sure that our babies and our families are being fed, that we're able to reduce that toxic stress, to be able to come together and, in the light of all this, welcoming our babies. We've had babies born these past few months, and bringing us hope and light in all this cloudiness, and being able to make sure that a mom who came home on a Monday, who gave birth on a Monday, came home on Wednesday with her brand new baby girl, only to start feeling unwell. Being neighborhood specific, we were able to go to her home and drop off formulas, and then order formulas for her husband to have, because at this moment, this mom was being tested for COVID. They couldn't figure out why her fever, why her blood pressure was going down. So here she is, you know, attached to machines. She sends me a picture, which just like broke my heart. And thinking about this, and then being able to just say, "Don't worry, we got you." So it's been like, that's been, you know, some of the work that we've been able to do to be able to stay connected with our families.
Truly incredible. Wow. I'm always amazed at how hard you all work to meet the needs of our families. But tell us, what things are you really excited about when you think about the opportunities ahead of us?
I have to say, I feel like we are in exactly the right place at the right time in this moment in the city. You know, I think we all have seen the heartbreak of COVID and how it has disproportionately affected these communities of color and communities of poverty. And I mean, for me, it just doubles our resolve that we need to do even more than we're doing. I think we have enormous opportunity ahead of us. Many of you have heard me say many times, 1 in 3 children of color in this city are born into poverty. And it's too much, right? In any way, shape, or form, this great city that we love. And so, you know, I think sometimes I feel like there's so much to do, but I think we have an amazing base to now build from, and a model that really is working. So we're serving 75 families right now and partnering alongside them. That's 75 babies that will be able to enter 3K programs. 25 of them are going to enter pre-K programs in September, which puts them on a whole different path of learning and socialization. But I think, you know, when I look at it, I would love for our program in Washington Heights to have 200 families. And I would love for us to be able to work and partner with other Methodist churches around the city to revitalize other spaces and other communities in partnership. So I really feel like we've sort of been working towards this moment all our life. And we're in exactly the right place with the support of all of you. And I read a great quote by Margaret Mead yesterday that said, "Never doubt that a small group of committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." And that just struck me so deeply. Because I would say this band of folks at Christ Church has been a small group of committed people to making our city a better place. And it's an incredibly important fight for justice and for these babies.
Amen. For justice's sake, for sure. And to see thriving babies, we want that for sure. Tell me, what initiatives and programs are going to be directly impacted by the money given tonight?
I just continuing to provide these services. We've been very blessed that, we got up and running virtually. It will continue to help us to extend services to our families, to be able to be there for them, to be able to be every step of the way as we get through this. Like, no one imagined in their minds that we will be going through a pandemic. As we were students, college students, we read about these things and our different chosen professions, right? How it had different impacts in society. And I feel like we're very fortunate right now that we as a community, as a church community, and as a community as a whole, we're able to contribute. We're able to say, when this happened, this is what my contribution changed or empowered or continue to feed that fire of resilience and a family's life. For us, the economic will help us keep our virtual doors open and eventually open our doors again fully, to be able to make sure that, new babies that are coming that may face similar situations as the family before, we have the resources to send that formula, to be able to order it, to be able to deliver it, to provide them the necessary items that our babies need, as diapers, food, love, and above all, just hope. Be able to come together and just be able to just talk to this prenatal mom that, is about to have her baby in 29 days, to say, you're going to be okay. Preparing mobile baby boutiques, like for this mom. This is the first time we do a prenatal baby boutique. This mom is going to get a crib, everything that she needs to get her prepared to welcome her second child. To continue to provide social emotional services that we all know we are all experiencing a collective trauma, and only God knows what the needs are going to be after this when it comes to mental health services. To continue to empower, to create that space, to hold that space for our kiddos.
You all do such amazing work, and it is such an inspiration to so many that we've been able to continue to provide the needs for our families. If people tonight hear this and they are inspired, how can they get involved?
I would say that it takes all of us. And I think that's been the power of our model. And, I think, in fact, some of the greatest teachers are our mothers that we partner with. This fall, we give freshly meals to our folks in a partnership. And these are ready-made meals that they can just put in a microwave. They're very healthy. And Monica and the team decide which families need them most based on their situation. And we had given some to a mother who then decided that the woman down the hall from her needed the meal even more than she did. And so she took 2 meals down the hall and shared. And the older lady down the hall that was the recipient of these 2 meals saw a homeless person on the sidewalk at Thanksgiving and decided that he needed the meal even more than she did. And so the 3 meals that we had given to our mom ended up dispersed in the neighborhood to 3 different folks. And I think, if these people can see such abundance when many of us would look at it and see scarcity, we all have to look hard at ourselves and think about what abundance we truly have of time, talent, and treasures. And I think when our parents come into our space, they often say to us they feel great love and great peace in that space. And I think the reason they feel that is because of the team, but also because of all the volunteers that bring great love and great peace into that space. And it's everything from the early days of cleaning windows and repainting as a team to today, where our volunteers are English teachers and volunteers on Saturday at the reading corner, or volunteering to make big pots of oatmeal for our families so that they have something warm in their tummies when they go home. And so I really do think it's this army of all of us to sort clothes, to teach English, to make quilts, to prepare food, to say and hold our families in prayers that makes this really powerful. And of course, tonight, we also are very thankful for any financial gifts that can be given as well. And so, I think sometimes folks think $25 isn't very much, but it's actually an enormous gift because it buys a can of formula and actually gives a baby sustenance for the first weeks of life. $75 buys diapers for a month for a child, and the family then can use that money to buy other things. And we've been really blessed with some grants that we've gotten, et cetera, that we've been able to provide rent assistance, but these families still need that. And so, there again, for $500, we're able to really supplement a family and keep them in their room, so that that's one less worry they have to worry about at this time of so many other stresses in their life. And I'm thankful for the Christ Church community that has come together and supported us over these past 4 years in all of those ways. So with gratitude in my heart, thank you.
And during this time too, coming up and helping us deliver meals. We have folk that have come up and helped us and deliver these pantry boxes. And we've been able to take it to 10 families, 7 to 10 families a week, where our families are unable to leave their homes because they have newborns, or they're prenatal, or they have older children with health conditions that limits them. So that just within itself, right? A simple act of saying, I'm going to deliver, I'm going to take, that is just so powerful. And that's just like what we're living. And that's the church, Christ Church community. So thank you for giving us this moment in time and coming alongside to say, si se puede, yes, we can, we got this, and together we can.
Thank you so much for both of you being a light that continues to shine even in this dark time.
As we come to you tonight, we've been very fortunate. Someone has already given a special offering with the hope for a match. An individual has contributed $20,000, and we need someone tonight to match that amount. Again, very fortunate offering of $20,000 to help us to continue to minister in this special way. Go to ChristChurchCares.com. Won't you please give?
Good evening. I'm Marcia Askins. I'm a Christ Church member and long-term volunteer and cook at our Sharing Table Ministry. Each week, we serve meals to over 100 guests in search of a hot meal, a place to rest, a friendly smile, and just someone to listen. We desperately need to continue this ministry, especially today. We all know that in our city, our beloved city, so many are hungry and in search of food. We hope that you'll be able to help us. What I'd like to do now is to let you listen to a couple of our volunteers about why Sharing Table is important to them.
Hi, good evening. My name is Giovanni Gioia, and I am one of the head chefs at Christ Church's Sharing Table program. I hope this message finds everyone well and in good health during our current COVID crisis in the city. I've been working with Sharing Table for the past, I think 7 years now, since 2013. Upon recently joining, became head chef through the guidance of the other chefs at the time, Marcia, Hans, and Jason. And over time, I have, done 15, 16 shifts per year, feeding 130 people, which ultimately is close to 15,000 meals within the past 7 years that I've been at Sharing Table. Sharing Table is a wonderful program, network of friends, support. I mean, I'm not even part of your congregation. I'm Roman Catholic, but I just cook. It's been a very rewarding experience, and half of that is possible because of the charitable donations that we receive to support our program, which also help to give very diverse and nutritional and meals of quality. And then also now in this time, these same donations shall also help prepare us with the equipment and other materials necessary to have a safe meal service and practice in our new post-COVID New York City. So with that said, and on behalf of the rest of the Sharing Table volunteer and chef staff, thank you much and have a good evening.
Hi Christ Church friends, I'm Catherine.
I'm Tim. We've been part of the Sharing Table family for the past 7 years. We feel that Sharing Table is an integral part of Christ Church's outreach programming. We have the opportunity to directly engage with those in the city who are food insecure, of which there are many.
Each week, Sharing Table serves 150 guests. In addition to the meal, we also distribute toiletries and other necessities, as well as provide a safe space to the guests during the service. The menus are planned around regularly stocked pantry items and supplemented with fresh herbs and produce with an eye towards nutritional value. We hope you'll consider giving as able to help keep funding for this important service at Christ Church.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Jessica Oliver, and I'm a volunteer for Sharing Table. I've volunteered for over 10 years, and what's wonderful about Sharing Table is we're actually giving food to people who need it. It's amazing to me when someone walks through the line and they say, "Oh my gosh, I haven't eaten today. Thank you so much." And you get to do this anonymously, you get to do something kind for someone else, and it really means a lot. So thank you for donating. Thank you for supporting this wonderful thing that our church does. And God bless.
Hello, I'm John Paul Cleveland, and I would just like to say a few words about why I volunteer with Sharing Table. It's about what we do, who we are, and who we serve. What we do is that we serve delicious and nutritious meals to those who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. Who we are is a bunch of great volunteers who have fun, who are fast and efficient, and really enjoy being together and serving those here in New York City. It's about loving God above all else and loving our neighbor as ourselves and put into action. I also want to say another thing about volunteers is that on more than one occasion, we've had out-of-town volunteers. That is to say, families who are coming on to vacation in New York City at any time of year will actually seek Christ Church out. They will seek us out and contact us and ask to volunteer at Sharing Table and come and do so. And it's a great opportunity to connect with other Christians and other people around the world, around the United States, as they sojourn to New York City.
Thank you. As you can see, our Sharing Table ministry makes not only a difference in the lives of our guests, but also in the lives of all of us. Please give what you can to this ministry. You can go to christchurchcares.com. Thank you very much for all you do.
Hi, Christ Church family and friends. This is Ben here with my mom Nancy, coming to you from our kitchen in Alabama. So, even though we're in this terrible quarantine and the COVID world, we can still be celebrating all these wonderful programs we have at Christ Church. So we say, let's break out the bubbly and have a nice snack.
Let's go for it.
And tonight we're making a no-pain champagne, a great mocktail that my mom's going to tell you about.
I discovered this recipe when I was trying to make a punch for our Council on Substance Abuse reception. We couldn't use wine or champagne or beer or anything else. So I discovered these ingredients make a wonderful punch.
That's awesome. And these ingredients you already have a list of, and hopefully you have at home. And if you don't, you can easily go to your bodega and pick up any of these.
Bodega? What is that?
Yeah, bodega. It's like a gas station, but without gas and a lot of cats.
Oh, yes. Olivia Benson used to go to a bodega on Law and Order. That's where I heard that word the first time,
Yeah.
bodega. Okay, let's take our three main ingredients and start tonight. We're going to mix in some pineapple juice, white grape juice. The last ingredient we pour in is the chilled ginger ale, because this is what makes it the bubbly. We'll stir this up. And there we have our no-pain champagne.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
We can also make a quarantini Bellini if you want to add a little peach nectar here. All right, let's try this. I like that better. Anna was telling us about this champagne cocktail called Chambord Royale. It sounds pretty fancy, huh?
Yes.
So the Chambord Royale usually has Chambord and champagne, and the Chambord is a raspberry liqueur. We're not using a raspberry liqueur tonight. We're using a cranberry raspberry, a cocktail blend. On the base. All right, give it a little splash of that. Yeah. All right, well, we're gonna put some of these in the drink then. Add a little pizzazz.
Okay.
All
Chambord.
Yes,
All
and
right.
this is called stressed but blessed.
Stressed but blessed.
We know about that. Well, I think it just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Wow.
The pomegranate adds a little tartness. Very
Wow.
nice.
That's wonderful. So the next thing we have up is we're gonna start making some cheese straws. So we'll get this cleaned up and come right back to you.
Cheese straws. My favorite. I want to show you today how to make some cheese straws. This is the simplest way that you can make them, I promise. We're going to take a stick of butter. We're going to melt this in the microwave for just a few seconds.
Okay.
Now, there are two kinds of cheese straws. They're those really heavy floured ones that you buy in the store that are made with a pastry gun, and I don't like to use those.
Or for gun control.
Or they're the kind we're going to make tonight where we use our hands and we can form the dough and make it into the shapes that we want to. So it's a lot more fun when you use your hands to make them. We have to melt the butter down because we've got to get the cheese melted into the butter. And that's the fun of it. And if you've got children at home, you can turn this into a lesson with them and stir and make. And for you folks that are truly stressed, you can do a lot of stress management making dough, whether you're making biscuits or cheese straw or whatever. You can just work yourself away, work out all that tension that's in your fingers.
Absolutely.
And just work and work. Now, you can use a little bit of cayenne pepper, or you can use a lot, depending on how hot you want the taste. But it's funny to watch people at receptions bite into the cheese
get
straws,
that surprise.
and they get that surprise look about, woo, where'd that come from? And then you just take 1 cup of flour, put it in there, put about half of it, stir, stir, stir. Now, some people think that cheese straws have to be long and thin. So if that's the way you want them, you're going to take it and you roll it out and take it with your fingers and pinch and make it into a long straw that looks something like that. So you're going to take them out and lay them out like that.
Pinch the ends, right?
Pinch the ends so they
That's
won't
important.
look like they're unkept there. But now a lot of times when you're making these, you would want to make them round. And if you're going to do that, then take them and roll them into a ball.
Now we need to get our oven preheating.
Yes.
What temperature is best?
400.
400.
No matter what.
Great. So when we get this pan full and we put them into the preheated oven, how long should we cook them?
About 8 to 9 minutes. You don't want them to get real brown, but you want them to get set. So when you take them out of the oven, use your spatula and make sure they're set real good, because you don't want them to fall into pieces.
Absolutely. And you want to put them on this
Remove
rack
them
here.
from your hot tray in the oven and put them on a cooling rack like this and let them stay for about 10 minutes to set, because they're very delicate and they will just crumble if you try to pick them up when they're really, really hot.
Really, we already have some made here.
Oh,
So
yes.
here is the beautiful finished product. Now we have one more ministry to talk about tonight. So we're going to be talking about our outreach in Colombia. What do you know about Colombia, Mom?
Colombia. Well, I know it's famous for coffee, but it's also famous for childcare and the way that people work with children there. I recently had an experience and got an opportunity to hire a young lady from Colombia who came to Montgomery, and she's bilingual and she's been a great asset to our children's program here in Montgomery. And if everybody in Colombia is as nice as Maria is, it's a great place.
That's wonderful. Well, it's been such a pleasure being with you guys tonight, and I'm so glad you got to meet my mom. And
yes, it's been a lot of fun. I hope you learned something from tonight and that you enjoy what you've made.
absolutely. And thank you for all your gifts, and we look forward to continuing our wonderful ministries at Christ Church.
And continue that spirit of giving. The Methodist Church really needs it.
Well, we have another great opportunity for you to give tonight. We've had a special donor give $10,000. $10,000 to help us continue, again, with the great work you've been hearing about. Go to ChristChurchCares.com. We need a match tonight. Again, a special donor. $10,000 to help us. Will you be that person?
Hi, we're Rick and Mary Beth Ketchum, and we've been longtime participants in the Christ Church's outreach to the Methodist Home in Riverdale, New York. You know, all of us have experienced in the last few months the unnerving result of having our world become much smaller. And I know personally that a huge antidote to that has been our chances to be able to reach out and Zoom or to connect in a socially distant walk around town with our family and our friends. And that helps me feel like I have a little bit more control of my world and certainly far more rewarding. Well, the worlds of residents of the Methodist Home, of course, have become very small, and they've become small in a way that's quite even more permanent. And that has really been a significant part of the purpose of Christ Church's regular visits to the Methodist Home. Through chatting with the residents, putting together a simple craft, sharing a music ministry, we try to make that world a little brighter and a little larger. I know personally myself, when I'm chatting with a resident about where she grew up, her family, what she did for a living, even what her favorite sports team was, that when I see her eyes light up, it makes me feel great. And when I sit back and see the smiles on the residents when they recognize an old hymn or a Broadway song sung by members of our adult choir or youth choir, it's a wonderful thing to see. I hope that, and I really believe that provides a little benefit to them and a little joy in their life. And I can say that they have repaid that joy to me 100-fold.
So unfortunately, in the current situation, visitors, even family members, have not been able to come to the Methodist Home to visit the residents and their beloved family. However, I can assure you that the staff at the Methodist Home has worked compassionately to reach out to families via Zoom time, as we all do, and also facilitating FaceTime for the residents to spend some time with their family members. They've also encouraged family members to send favorite meals, favorite treats, to entice them to have a little brightness in their day and to know that their family members are thinking of us. We all look forward to the day when we can get back to the Methodist Home, sing songs, do crafts, and visit with them. But rest assured that in the current environment, the residents are being compassionately and carefully provided for all their needs.
Thank you for listening. And let's all get together and refill those coffers of the Christ Church Outreach Fund. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
As you have just heard from Rick and Mary Beth, our Methodist Home residents are dear to us. And the COVID-19 pandemic has had a great impact on their lives and the staff who serve them. Going forward, the home will be required by the state of New York to test everyone who enters the facility. As such, your gift tonight will help provide a testing machine required to do daily testing. The all-in-one infrared temperature sensing tablet and related supplies will cost an estimated $30,000. This is an opportunity to give generously that we might care for this vulnerable yet so deserving population. So as you are able, please give.
We have another great opportunity for you to give tonight. Another special blessing has come to us in the amount of $5,000. Again, $5,000 can help expand our ministry efforts beyond measure. If you are able to match the $5,000 gift that we received, we know that we could do immeasurably more. Go to ChristChurchCares.com.
Love is patient, love is kind, love is gentle, love divine, love forgiving is never rude, love rejoices
Christ Church family and friends. I'm Nyla Myers and I'm coming to you from Minneapolis, where I moved in January. I helped organize the Christ Church Outreach Benefit for many years, and I wondered how I could contribute this year from 1,000 miles away. It turns out, thanks to the coronavirus and modern technology, helping out this year was quite easy. I didn't have to get on an airplane, and I didn't even really dress up. When you move, you're forced to reckon with all your worldly possessions twice. Once when you pack them all up, and again when you unpack them. And when I was unpacking, I came across this photo in the bottom of a box from my office. It is a photo from 2009 of the first team from Christ Church that went down to Cartagena, Colombia to start building a church there. I don't know if you can tell, but we are gathered around a large hole in the ground. That was our job on that trip, to dig about 18 of those holes for the foundation of the church, which came to be called Iglesia Fe y Esperanza, Faith and Hope. When I look at this picture now, I realize how many people in it have gotten married or had children or have moved away like me in the last 11 years. But we are still bonded together by the experience of building this church, as are the other groups that followed to finish the building and develop the programming there. It is a bond that has lasted 11 years between Christ Church and the neighborhood of Flor del Campo, far away from the beaches and resorts of Cartagena, a place where many people who were displaced by war and natural disasters came to live. The church and community center that is now standing where these holes in the ground were is not just a place of worship. It's a place where children are fed. It's a place that nurtures a microfinancing program that helps small businesses, many of which are owned by women. Above all, it is a safe haven and part of Christ Church's history. To find out more about what's going on in the Colombian Methodist Church now, here is the Bishop, Luis Acevedo.
Mi nombre es Luis Andrés Caicedo, obispo de la Iglesia Colombiana Metodista. Quiero invitarles a que conozcan un poco del trabajo que realizamos en la Iglesia Fe y Esperanza de Cartagena, comunidad que generosamente ustedes apoyan. Acompáñenme.
Hola, soy Viviana Márquez Márquez, pastora de la Iglesia Colombiana Metodista Fe y Esperanza en Cartagena, Colombia.
The church in Cartagena works with children, youth, and women. With children, we work in 3 aspects. A project named Building Citizenship, in which we share Christian values, citizen values, and ecological values. We have also started a kindergarten. We strengthen their fine and gross motor skills and their lives in community. We take care of children with the feeding program, providing them a balanced meal. Food that is healthy and yummy, that helps them in the growing process. We work with women, strengthening their self-esteem, restoring their dignity, empowering them, and we work with the youth, strengthening their culture, art, their music, and their youth spirit. The church developed a financial program.
Mi nombre es Jennifer Villa y soy la coordinadora del programa Bancos Responsables en la ciudad de Cartagena.
That supports mostly women and people with low income. And we provide them financial training. The church continues the pastoral work, developing their growth, making impact in the community, baptizing, celebrating service every Sunday. Even in this time, we encourage them from home.
Bueno, este es un poco el trabajo que realizamos en Cartagena, donde ponemos al servicio de quienes más necesitan nuestros dones y nuestros talentos. Espero que esto les ayude y les dé un panorama de todo el trabajo que realizamos en dicha comunidad, trayendo el reino de Dios a quien más lo necesitan. Muchas gracias. Que el Dios de la vida bendiga a cada uno de ustedes.
I'm Violet Lee, and I am the Executive Program Minister of Christ Church. We're so glad that you've been with us tonight.
Good evening. I'm Miggy Correa, and I'm the pastor of Christ Church, Washington Heights. We recognize that this is a season of hardship on so many levels, physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. Here at Christ Church, we want you to know that we see and hear you.
And so if you have any concerns or needs we might be able to assist with, please remember Christ Church cares. So do reach out and be blessed.
My feet are strong, my eyes are clear,
a baby.
Worn down in between, like a bull chasing the matadors. A man left to his own schemes. Everybody needs someone beside him, shining like a lighthouse from the sea. God, let me be your shelter. Let me be all alone. I can be the one you call when you're home.
Thank you so very, very much, friends, for sharing this time with us. I said it once before, but I'll say it here again, that gratitude abounds. I am so thankful for the community of Christ Church, for its generosity and clear-eyed focus on loving God and neighbor as the essential work of faith. By the way, this video will remain at the ChristChurchCares.com website, so please share it widely. We sincerely desire to spread the good news that grace abounds in our world, and we are always seeking new friends. There's way more than enough work to share. May tomorrow be a good day for you. Remember that God attends you in every circumstance. Be at peace.